Okay, had some questions on the day's action and using the tools for Tradingview. We do have the iGrid Evo running in Tradingview, and it works really nice. Now, the only way that I use it, I like using Renkos. So I have a Renko chart set up. So I'm on a Renko, and I'm feeding that Renko with premium subscription 1-second data. So the Renko timeframes I'm on, I can't use 1-minute data. It's not enough data feeding into the vertical price distance defined candlesticks. So that's what Renkos are. Renkos are defined by their vertical price distancing that you set over in your brick or box size. Some platforms call it box size, some call it brick size, and so on. So last night in the overnight session, pretty much after the markets open, we got a bit of a slap down. There was a big move. Let's see, that was about 3:25-ish in the morning, Chicago time, U.S. Central Time. So any of you that like to get up and trade the DAX, it lifted a bit from 2 a.m. in the morning when the EU markets, U.S. Central Time, their cash markets open. DAX futures trades from 1 in the morning. Well, it's kind of I guess you could say the activity picks up in the DAX futures from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. And then at 2 a.m., when the German and other markets have their cash sessions, meaning their stock market starts trading, their cash markets, the DAX heats up. The DAX futures trading heats up. And we had a big slap down. Buyers came in and we oscillated a bit, and then we came into about, I don't know, it was about 4:20-ish in the morning, Chicago time. We got a buy signal. I'm not really sure who'd be up there, but I always, when I'm trading, if I'm trading in a manual discretionary mode, I'm always looking for W patterns, and I train this. I have a lot of training on price patterns, price levels, over and above the setups. I mean, you can't beat that. You're in a long bias with the iGrid, and you get a W pattern, and when your Heikin-Ashi kind of lifts again, goes to aqua, those are areas to get in and work. What you can work them as quick scalps, but if it runs and runs and runs, hey, you caught a runner. If it runs and then you get a rollover, you can just bail out and wait for another setup. And then now closer into the U.S. or getting near to the U.S. cash session, we get a big fat W pattern that forms, and then I gave you another little mini W pattern in that 7 a.m. to 7:20 Chicago time. That was a nice setup because look at, you're getting an ascension, you're getting a market that's stair-stepping higher, W patterns, lift, screaming at you to be a buyer. And that ripped, came up, took out that pivot high right after the EU markets had a bit of a run up. That was its pivot high for the night and then sold off. So that is a level sweep, we call it. We grinded around a bit, waiting for the U.S. cash session. Right leading into the U.S. cash session, we get some selling and we get a sell signal. So we got the flip, get the alert and all that good stuff on the iGrid Evo for Tradingview. And that was a pretty nice push down, and they went down and swept that pivot low from about 3:25-ish in the morning U.S. Central Time. That was another level sweep. So it had a level sweep on the top of the range and a level sweep on the bottom range. And what is that? That big V bottom, that is institutionals shooting like a fire hose, Fed discount window money into the market to rescue price and contain it. And then they had to absorb a lot of selling, and they were pumping and pumping. When I say pumping, they come in and they blast order flow into 0 DTE options. They hit the futures to the buy side. Sometimes they'll mix in, and it's all automated, this activity. So when price settles back, then you see it burble up real quick. That's them. They're accumulating. They're they've invested order flow, then they're stair-stepping the market higher, they're stair-stepping it higher, they're absorbing, selling, they're accumulating, and then boom, they pump it really hard. So they're nailing DT options at the same time they're buying ES, YM, they're buying the NQ at the same time they're buying baskets of stocks. It's all automated, and they rip it right back up, and they do a level sweep on that just before the US cash session open. So don't you guys love my drawing? But anyhow, yeah, a lot of accumulation in there. I started to like this right here. I'll show you where I was. The one long trade I engaged in today. What was that? Yeah, right here. So now, to me, the market, after making, we had a pivot low, then we made a little bit of a pivot lower after a lower pivot high, and I thought, okay, maybe we're going to roll back over. We didn't. They grabbed it. They held it, but I like the stair-stepping higher of price and lift. And, you can see these tops are rising. This just totally was screaming out to me that somebody's accumulating, and they're absorbing sellers. And when I say absorbing sellers, I'm not necessarily saying they were absorbing sellers, in the bid-ask differential. That's not what I'm talking about. Meaning, any selling that's hitting the market, they're countering it with heavier zero DT options, regular options, futures buying, and on occasion basket. Yeah, when this happened, they were doing the trifecta. It was options, futures buying, baskets of stocks, all automated, and they just rip everybody's face off that's selling in here and clean them out. So then we had a level sweep. I teach all about these, how to track critical levels. And then we got, to me, just as a no-brainer setup, we get a big fat M pattern. So I started selling in here as the, looking for the completion of the M. We did, and then we got the short signal. The iGrid gave a short signal, right as we were getting some slap down off that level. So we had a level sweep with a price pattern, and then an iGrid short signal. And they tried to hang on to it, and then sellers came in pretty strong. And what do? We came all the way down, almost all the way down to that pivot. So that's what I call a levels test. Right there, that was a levels test, because we didn't break the level. They just tested it. So they came right down near that area, did a levels test. And then it was just a managed price the rest of the day. They basically were managing any selling that came in. They grabbed it and pushed it back up. Selling came in, they grabbed it, pushed it back up. So this was, kind of a junk out end of day. But anyhow, got some good moves. Got some selling out of the open. Did a level sweep. A grinding with a pop, rally, M top, and rollover. So we got a level sweep, another level sweep, a levels test, and then junked out the rest of the day in an oscillating range. And because everybody in New York had to go run out and watch the eclipse. I know we saw it where I was at. It was very beautiful, kind of light, thin, broken clouds moving fast. So I got some really good film of the eclipse take place, and it was a lot of fun. There was no earthquakes, no eerie dog barking sounds. We were out at a huge dog park, about 300 people out there all filming, and it was fun. So anyhow, the tools are working fantastic in TradingView. It's currently an indicator with alerts on the key flips. The updated the updated version of this is about to come out this week, where on the rotations in alignment with the trend of the Heikinashi number 2, you're going to get Dodger blue dots above each qualified rotation, like rollover. You'll get, aqua dots on each upward rotation. And you can turn those off, you can color them transparent, but they'll be there and there'll be another alert. So if you wanted to keep listening to those all day long, you could, but there'll be outputs that you can utilize, for third-party tools. So you'll have current flip outputs, and then you can have the add point outputs. And remember, you get to adjust regardless of the platform you're on, you get to adjust how responsive the Heikin-Ashi number 2 is to price. So Heikin-Ashi number 2, I can make it very subdued. I've shown this in videos before. I can make it like a 19. So see how it's really responsive, and now it's not. So that controls in how many ads you get. So if I don't want a lot of ads, I smooth out Heikin-Ashi number 2. All Heikin-Ashi number 2 does is tell us where to put our ads. If I want a ton of ads, I can set that down to like a 4. So it's hyper responsive to price. And in the logic, we have to have a certain amount of down bars before we have a flip back to the long side to be qualified for an ad. So not every little oscillation. Let's go take a look at this so you can kind of see it real good. So if I have a pullback, I have to have a certain amount of bars on the Heikin-Ashi before I have a certain amount of lift before that is a qualified ad. And I can only add to the long side when I'm in uptrend bias mode, and I can only add to the short side. So we don't do martingale. We do directional grid trading. We're trading in the direction of the momentum of the trend. So we use Heikin-Ashi 1 to control the plot positioning through two-dimensional smoothing. Of this indicator, we use unique math in all 3 components. So we don't use same old math. That does help a lot. So, it's just a fantastic indicator. It's so easy, in my opinion, to get dialed in. I don't care if I'm trading rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong, if I'm trading gold, if I'm trading, trinkets out at the farmer's market, whatever you're trading that you can put up on a chart, you can dial in the iGrid and catch those key structural movements regardless of the time frame you're on. So we got crypto guys on it, stock listing guys. When I say stock listing, I have a fair amount of people that, you can get stock listings now as contract for difference or your FX broker. Like I guess they're trading like Microsoft and Tesla, probably trading Nvidia. Oh, I see Apple a lot. So when guys send me charts, I'm used to seeing like Tesla, Apple. I know guys trading Microsoft and probably Nvidia and a few others. So a lot of the FX brokers are expanding these stock listings that you can trade as a contract for difference on your FX platform. Well, you're saying I'm watching Tradingview FX. Well, Tradingview, there's third-party tools. You can talk out outputs from your tools. You can have outputs talk out that activity to an MT4 and MT5 platform. And then what's that newer one? Copygram. I think Tradingview can even interact with CTrader and other platforms, and DX platform, and so on and so on. Now, right now in build, this is being where the add points are being added as another output, and we are making this a strategy. So you can definitely use it to do your, since Tradingview doesn't inherently have the ability to trade automated, you can use third-party tools to, in a sense, do your automated trading. So anyhow, there you have it. This is the Tradingview version coming along nice. Updated version, and as a strategy should be ready this week. Have some very significant marketing campaigns on deck. So anyhow, if you have any questions on access or what's on deck, info@gridalgo.com, and talk to you guys later.